Welcome back to Against the Call, everyone. This is episode 35. And today we have a special one for you guys, Against the Call Golf Edition, where we're going to be talking about the Augusta National Women's Amateur Recap, the Masters Outlook and players to watch out for, the LIV Golf Tournament in Orlando, our Mount Rushmore greatest golfers to ever live, draft day, all things golf. And what better way to do that? What better way to do this episode than to have the NCAA D1 women's golf champion, two-time WGCA All-American scholar, and two-time Pac-12 academic honor roll student, Sadie Englemann, or in other terms, Sadie Englebomb. I've seen, there's a golf club and a golf ball. She's hitting bombs. So, Sadie, thank you for joining us today. How's your day going?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's going great. It's our first day of classes of the spring quarter, so it's busy, but back into it.
Really? So spring classes start a little bit later for you guys at Stanford, or
Yeah, so since we're on the quarter system, we have 3 quarters rather than 2 semesters. So after spring break, we start a whole new set of classes, and we go pretty far into June.
oh, okay. All right, that's nice. That was going to be one of my first questions is what are you majoring in at Stanford?
Yeah, so we have a major called Science, Technology, and Society. Super, super broad. Covers a lot. I can take a bunch of classes. I'm doing media communications within the major. So that's kind of what I want to go into after I play. But yeah, super broad. Can take a bunch of classes, and it's a pretty convenient major for athletes.
Yeah, super nice. Mike?
Oh, cool. What's life as like a college athlete?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. I think being a student athlete at any school is going to be a challenge, and it's um, for the world. I mean, I love it so much.
Awesome.
I mean, a typical day, it's like we have practice, workouts, I have homework. I try to, as hard as I can, to have a social life as well. So there's a lot of things that I do have to balance. But I mean, that's the best part of college is trying to figure out who you are and what you can do and what you want to prioritize. So
Very true. So, like, what are some goals or like accolades that you plan on achieving in the next few years at Stanford?
yeah, I mean, I only have less than a year and a half left, so I don't have too much time. But yeah, I think just kind of continuing on the path that I'm at. I've been playing some decent golf recently, just trying to stay steady, bring the scoring average down. I mean, I would love to say I want to win a tournament at Stanford, and obviously that is a goal of mine. But I don't typically like to have like specific goals like that. But yeah, just enjoy the next year and a half that I have with my teammates because it's the last time in golf I'll have with a team like this, and kind of just prepare myself for the future and when I turn pro.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, growing up, did you ever have like a specific golfer that kind of inspired you?
I mean, I can't really put a finger on one. I mean, I've obviously watched Tiger, as he's a Stanford alum as well. So that's kind of cool connection there. Um, I've always loved watching Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, those guys, kind of see the younger guys, um, what I would more consider my generation. And now it's really cool to watch guys like Scotty Scheffler, who I've played golf with, and guys like that on the tour, kind of see them progress and bring my era of golf like onto the tour. But no, I mean, I wouldn't say there's like a specific one.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you got to golf with Scotty Scheffler, you just said. Like, that's awesome stuff right there. Has there ever been like, I mean, you got the Tiger Woods connection going. Have you ever met him?
I actually haven't. I'm still hoping for the chance the next 2 year, yeah, next 2 years. But I'd love to see him out here sometime. But yeah,
Growing up, did you was golf the only sport you played, or did you play like other sports?
yeah, I specialized at a really young age, which I guess I'm thankful for. I do wonder what would be different if I had played other sports. But yeah, I started golf when I was 3, and I really never waved from that path. It's been a grind since then, and I've loved it.
That's why you're so good at it. Since 3 years old. Dang. All right.
3 years.
I mean, you mentioned, you golfing with Scotty Scheffler and you got like those, connections, stuff like that. Are there any cool stories that you can share with us and the listeners with any of the golfers you've golfed with?
I'm trying to think. Like I said, yeah, I played with Scotty Scheffler when I was in high school. It was very casual. He was still in college playing at Texas. I'm from Austin. And I don't even remember how we ended up in the same group. I was playing at the UT golf course, and it's kind of funny to look back on it now. Like he's like the #1 player in the world. Like that's crazy to me. I've played with Dylan Fratelli, who played on the European Tour for a while and also plays on the PGA Tour. I would say probably my coolest claim to fame is that I do have like a consistent match with Tom Kite when I'm home during the summers. He's like, I would consider him like a mentor. And yeah, we play pretty much every Wednesday, and it's really cool. He's not playing professionally anymore, but he still is so good and can kick my butt any day.
Now you mentioned like you were from Austin, Texas, so we got to ask here, do you root for Texas professional teams, and if so, like which ones?
I'm a diehard Aggie fan. I will always be, regardless of where I went to college, especially football. I love that. I'm a huge Cowboys fan as well. I love college football, NFL football. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Texas girl, so I do root for teams, and as long as A&M's not playing the University of Texas, I will root for them too. But
now, so you're a Cowboys fan.
I am.
What's that like?
What's it like? You said?
What's that like?
Oh, I mean, I get a ton of crap for it from different people, but
no shade.
Nah, it's cool. I mean, it's fun to have a team to root for, and that's the one my dad grew up watching, and so he kind of shared his love for that with me, and
you gotta respect that, Mike.
We saw that you didn't play for Stanford your freshman year. Where did you play at?
No, I did. I played for Stanford.
Oh, really? Okay.
Was Stanford like always your first option to go for school?
I would say when I was younger, like because when I was being recruited, like the age was a lot younger than it is now because of the rule change. So I was kind of looking at colleges 7th, 8th grade. I was playing decent golf, but like not super well. And I was pretty sure I was going to go to school in Texas. It was close to home. It was my parents had affiliation with it, and it seemed like a perfect fit. And as I kind of started my freshman year, I started playing better, and I was reached out to by schools like Stanford, and I thought, wow, like if I'm going to get the opportunity to play at a school like this, like how could I turn it down? And it was the best decision ever made.
Now, we apologize for the lack of source reliability. That's on us. I don't know. I read something. It was like, yeah, she didn't play her first year there. I was like, okay. Well, it didn't say where else you played. So
yeah, no, I played here. I didn't move. I didn't play. I wasn't in college until till February, because of COVID. So that might have been something. My freshman year was horrible.
Okay.
Because of
that makes more sense. Yeah, but were there any schools like I know you mentioned Texas A&M? Did you want to play there? Like, was that your go-to destination in Texas?
Yeah, that was a big one. I looked at UT a bit, but I live like 30 minutes from campus, and it's like I really felt like I needed to develop as a person on my own, and not be in the same town as my parents. And they kind of pushed me towards a school out of the state as well. So.
Okay, that makes sense. And now you're calling University of Texas UT. I'm a Tennessee fan, actually. So is Texas the real UT?
My best friend in the world is from Tennessee, and her UT is University of Tennessee. So I would say both of them can claim the name.
All right, that's perfect. So talking about your team, everything like that, what's it like to play for such a legendary golf coach as Ann Walker?
Yeah, it's actually insane. Like, I knew she was a great coach before I came here, but I couldn't have imagined like how much she could grow my game, and just seeing how she handles the team and our like camaraderie and like the way we play and how we're on the course, and just kind of everything she does, she handles with such grace, and it's inspiring to watch. And I'm so glad I get to play for her.
Yeah. Now, she's a great coach. 2015 win, and then you got the 2022 national championship win. And there's a lot of great courses that you've been able to play on. What has been your favorite course to play on? I know there's been a lot, but there's a beauty aspect that goes into golf courses, and just good playability, good weather, things like that. What's been your favorite?
Yeah, we got to play Pebble Beach in our first tournament this year, and that was the first time I got to play there. Really, really enjoyed that. I think that has a lot to do with the beauty. And we did have good weather, and I did end up playing well, so that always has a has a bit of an effect. Um, and then we also played Seminole, and I really found that interesting. Kind of unlike any other course I'd ever played. But super, super good conditions. Greens were super fast, and um, that's those are the two in college. I'd say I really enjoyed Karsten Creek, OSU's home course, when I got to play it in junior golf, but I haven't played there since.
Oh, okay. Mike, what do you say?
I just want to ask, how does it feel being one of the top college golfers in the country?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I'm surrounded by a team of really good players and the number one player at Roseng. So I think it's easy to kind of just look up to them and like, wow, I want to be there. And I constantly push myself and make myself better. And I think that's like something that's so cool. And yeah, it's cool being a top player, but at the end of the day, I just want to get better and grow my game and be the best person I can as well.
Yeah, and with you, going forward, talking about media communication, stuff like that in your future, I'd like to ask here, like, is LPGA in your sights as well?
Yeah, so I plan to turn pro after my senior year. I'm probably give myself 5 years kind of on the mini tours on the LPGA, kind of feel it out. And if I do have success, I'm going to continue for as long as I can. I love the game. It's what I want to do with my life. But, I do accept that there's a possibility of not making it. So I do have aspirations also to either broadcast or write, but I want to have sports in my life, especially golf.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And we just mentioned it. You're 32 in national rankings as of yesterday. It could have changed. You might be like number 5 or something today. I don't know. But I have to ask, like, that's a great accomplishment in itself, but do you look at like your stats a lot of the times and do you, read the media and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something I'm trying to like toggle with right now. Like it's kind of new to me still. I mean, it's obviously nice to see stuff about you in the media and see your rankings going up and stuff, but I think it's also can be a source of pressure when you are on the golf course, and that's like something I'm trying to keep out. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure that out. Like I do look at rankings occasionally, and I think it gives me confidence in some ways, but also has the aspect of pressure. And with the media, I don't know. I think it depends on kind of like the source. Like I was recently featured in an article, but it had more to do with like me as a person rather than a golfer. So I think that's cool. But again, I'm a huge sports fan, so I'm always like reading stuff about everyone. So
Mike, what are you gonna say?
I was not saying anything.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say something. Now, yeah, that's awesome. And you've competed in the Toyota World Cup in Japan twice. You got to tell us how that experience was. I've never been overseas. I've been to maybe like 5 states, so I got to hear what's up with this.
yeah, that was definitely two of the coolest experiences. I mean, Japan is like it's such a culture shock to go there. And to play golf there is even cooler. I mean, the golf courses are unreal. The cities are crazy. The food's so exotic. Like it was Japan was one of the first times I traveled abroad, and the time change and the flight there, it's like it's a whole different experience. It's crazy. It's like kind of scary, honestly. When your people back home are waking up and you're going to bed, and vice versa. It's super strange, but I think it's definitely like an experience that I'm so thankful for, and I think it taught me a lot. And I got to play on a team as well, which was cool. And I actually played with my teammate Roseng the last year there, and I have some really good memories from Japan and some really good friendships too.
Yeah. How was the jet lag?
Oh, it was crazy. On my first year there, I woke up and I was like, I don't know where I am. I don't know if I even want to be here. Like, but it resides after a few days.
Do you have a like sick feeling at all after that? Did it take a few days to recover?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, and then you go downstairs and there's fish for breakfast, and that doesn't exactly help either. So,
And like speaking of, fishes, food, stuff like that, you got a favorite food that you tried in Japan?
uh, in Japan, There were these like salt and pepper wings. I remember super vividly. We tried to like we tried to get as much American food as we could. Because I mean, after a while, you just kind of want what you're used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to try some things and it was cool.
Have you guys seen those things where it's like overseas they have like American themed restaurants? Like, yeah, they have like American themed restaurants. It has like the American flag. There's like motors, stuff, like Ford and everything in there. They serve burgers. With like, have you guys seen
I
that?
haven't I haven't seen anything like that, but
It's
we probably
cool.
would have gone there.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what got me thinking about that. Like we have, Hispanic restaurants, Japanese restaurants, Chinese restaurants. They got American restaurants, so we're representing.
Yeah, interesting.
But you mentioned your best friends on the team. You got a lot of great connections on the team. What's it like having Rachel Heck, your best friend, on the same team as you? Because like if me and Michael were on the same golf team, I think that we would kind of push each other a little bit, but have some fun with it. But it'd be a good, learning experience. So how is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I didn't plan to go to college with her, and the fact that we did end up at the same place is super cool. And we've actually gotten to room together for 3 years. And I mean, I think we've only gotten closer and we do everything together. And we have such a great, like, I don't know, just a bond that I'm going to have forever. Like, I know she will be one of my closest friends forever. And yeah, with the golf aspect, we do push each other. I mean, when we're out there on the chipping greens, like, we have like intense competitions. Like, we want to beat each other so bad. And I think it's the same thing on the course, but I think that's like a great dynamic to have, especially with your best friend. And yeah, I mean, but it's not just her. It's like I have so many of my teammates are just so close to me, and I think we're pushing each other each day, and it's special.
Is there like anything else you're kind of competitive with her, like outside of
Oh,
golf?
everything. Of course, everything. Everything we do. We push each other around all the time. We're basically like sisters, and she's a sister I never had.
Is she the one that is from Tennessee? Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, tell her I said go balls, but
That's
I have to bring this up. I read an article kind of saying that there was like some pressure on you with Brooks Say being out and Rachel Heck, dealing with injuries and stuff like that. Is this narrative like true? Like, do you kind of feel any pressure because of that? Or are you just playing your game?
Honestly, I don't really feel pressure. I do feel the need to step up, but I think that's something that like has always been a personal goal of mine to be able to lead a team and be a person who people can come to and also trust and on the golf course. And I think that's kind of what my role in this team right now is. And I plan to step up as much as I can. And whether or not we have our players, we have a great group of girls that are going to play good no matter what. And I'm really confident in that. And I just hope to be a part of that.
Of course, of course. No, like, what would bring in a second national title mean to you? Like, that's got to be a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. I still, every time I think about nationals last year, I get goosebumps. I mean, it's something that like will be in my head forever and like a memory that I'll just never forget. And it's something I went into college just dreaming about. And the fact that we achieved it was amazing. And I think the fact that we get to try to defend this year is even better. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. We're going to go in with the same mindset. I mean, just another tournament that we're trying to win. And yeah, the end result would be great, but I'm just excited to get the chance again.
Yeah, like I watched the video that was kind of like the interview after last year. For you listeners, yeah, I did my research, so that's cool. But on the YouTube video, it was basically they kept bringing up this stat where it's like, a number one seed hasn't won it in so long, and they were kind of talking about like the whole team was kind of talking about how that was, a tad bit annoying, to keep hearing that all the time. Is that something that might come into play, going into this tournament? You guys are probably going to be a one seed by the time it happens, when that happens. So, are you going to carry on that legacy of, keeping that one seed, winning the national title alive? It's been away for a little while, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool that we kind of broke that superstition or whatever people want to call it. I think it's cool that we were able to have such a good year and then finish like that as well. And I think a big part of it is that match play is a completely different game, and it might not bring the top players out, and it might not, and it might like it did last year. But I think because we were able to like break that like whatever it was, and I think that also that we because I think there was another one that like not a lot of teams had like one stroke play and then also one match play.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's, I mean, but I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I don't know if what that's going to change in our minds this year. I don't think it's going to change much. I think the goal is still the same. But I think for other teams, it's like, okay, it's possible. And it's cool that we showed them that. But I think it gives us even more reason to step up and play better than we even did last year.
Yeah, of course. Now, like, it's kind of leading to my next question. Was that a little annoying for you guys, like hearing that all the time, like coming from a college athlete on the team? Like we talked a little bit about media and how you look at that kind of stuff. Was that annoying at all?
I mean, it definitely has an effect. I mean, you read articles when you play one bad tournament. I think we didn't start our winter season or spring season last year super well. I think we lost a couple tournaments and yeah, sure, the media was like, oh, maybe they're not as good as they're chalked up to be, or they're what's going to happen for the rest of the season. But honestly, like we have such a good like system here. Goes back to Coach Walker. I mean, she's done this for a long time, and she's taught us pretty well how to kind of filter that stuff out and kind of just focus on your own thing. And when you're at nationals, that's one thing that's really important is kind of to stay off the media, because there are people talking and there's always going to be people talking. You just kind of stick to your values and your golf game and go embrace your team on the course.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now, talking about individual game and everything like that, with the readings, it was saying something about you were dealing with kind of like a back injury at one point. And then, it's like, oh, she hit the greens. Like she was out there and at the golf range trying to get some shots up. And, Coach Ann was out there like, what are you doing? So is dedication like one of your biggest qualities? Would you say that?
I mean, I would like to think so. I do, like I said, love the game and I would do anything for it. And I love grinding. I love challenging myself. I love the grind of practice. I think it's something that it's physical and I can find something, I can pinpoint something in my game that I want to work on and kind of see that in progress and see it progress and get better. So yeah, there are times where I probably should take a break and I don't necessarily, and I'm working on that because that also is a big part of being a good player, is knowing when your body is telling you to stop. But yeah, I do love the grind, and I'd say I'm pretty passionate and determined, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you got Tiger Woods to live up to, so no pressure.
No pressure at all.
With that. But recently you won Golfer of the Week for your 4-3 play, or your 4-3 win at the Battle of the Bay. Was this your first time being awarded that award?
Yeah, it was. I was honestly kind of taken aback. I didn't expect it. I didn't really realize it was a thing. But yeah, it was cool to be recognized.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, it just motivates me more to go out and get it again.
Yeah, yeah. And recently you also golfed your best collegiate game, round with a round with a 5 under 67. And I gotta ask, did you wake up that morning feeling great?
I mean, I don't think I woke up feeling any different, but I was in Hawaii, so I couldn't be too sad on the island. No, it was really fun. I was in a really good place with my game, and honestly and mentally, I was having a lot of fun. I was with two of my teammates and my assistant coach, and we were just having a really great time in Hawaii. And I think the expectations and the pressure that kind of all went out the window, and I played my game, and it was cool to see, because I have seen my game like grow recently, and I was happy to have it show on the scorecard. But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. That was actually one of the questions I accidentally skipped over, was about that match in Hawaii. And how do you pronounce it? And NUNU spring.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I think that's
You don't know?
pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was close though. Like,
I was close.
all
Good
right,
try.
yeah. Okay. Tell us how that was. Again, I've barely been outside of Florida, so how was Hawaii?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was my first time in Maui. And it was really cool. We got to do a lot of cool things outside of golf, and I don't know, there's just something about being on an island, a beautiful island with the ocean and with your teammates. It's just a really cool experience. And like I said, it's like you're on the golf course and you're like, wow, I'm just chilling in Hawaii. Like, how could I be mad? How could I be focused on a bad shot?
What hotel like did you guys stay at? Was it nice?
We stayed at a house, so yeah, it
Oh, a
was pretty
house.
nice.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Very, very cool. And like, one of my last questions was your play in Maui gave you your fourth top 10 of the season and your second straight top four. And around against the call, joining our podcast gives some players and teams good luck, I guess. I don't know. That's what we've heard. So we're hoping that you get a number one finish very soon.
That that would be great. I love the confidence. I love that. So
Yeah. One of the G League teams that joined us, one of the GMs, we ended up going to a game right after we had him on. They won a must-win game, and it's just gone up from there. It's too much. It's too much. But and
that's awesome. Well, perfect.
yeah, you're gonna be coming in number one very, very soon. So look forward to that. But that's gonna do it with our interview with you. We're just gonna, and she's obviously gonna stay for this next segment where we're gonna be talking about the Augusta National Women's Amateur recap because her teammate is the one that won it all. Rose Zhang, and she's number one in the nation. So, Sadie, were you able to like watch this at all or keep up with it?
Yeah, so I was in Hawaii when it was going on, so I was able to watch the first two rounds of Champions Retreat. I saw a couple shots here and there. I was watching my also teammate Mega, and then Rose play, and I got to see Rose break all kinds of records and then break her own record the second day, as Rose does. It's really cool to watch. But then the last day, I was actually on the plane back, and me and my dad were watching it via Southwest Wi-Fi, and on 14 it crashed, so I actually had no idea how the finish ended up. And I mean, the minute I landed, I opened my phone and I was like, refresh, refresh, refresh. And I was like, oh my God, she won. Like, I was like celebrating my parents. And then I looked at the scorecard. I was like, sudden death playoff. Like, holy crap. Like we missed it. And
Yeah.
honestly, like, I think I'm glad because I don't think my like stress levels would have like been able to deal with that. Cause I mean, I just wanted her, she deserves it so much. And she's such a good player and a good person and so humble. And to win that, I know she's really excited about. And to have a day like she did the last day, I know it wasn't her best golf, and I know she's probably disappointed in it. But to clutch up the end and still get the dub was cool, and I'm really glad to see.
So my next question would be, all these broadcasting systems, they're not like against the call. They'll be asking you, what's it like to look up to Rose Zhang? But the real question is, what's it like for Rose Zhang to look up to you?
That's the first. I've never heard that one. Honestly, like people ask this question all the time, and I think we're all pretty similar in our answers in that we all look up to each one of our teammates, and whether it be golf or school or life, we're all there for each other. And I admire every one of my teammates, and I hope they can say the same. And for Rose, I just want to be someone who she can come to. Obviously, she's an amazing player, but she also has other aspects of her life, and I want to be there and help her through those, and just be there for her as much as I can. And yeah, but she's awesome.
Yeah, we love Rose Zhang, obviously, but we got to give Sadie some credit here. Like she's been taking it too long, I bet. And there always are those things where it's like, JJ Watt could beat me in football and maybe a million other sports, but there's that a millionth and first that I could beat him in. We just got to find that soft spot.
Exactly.
So, that's always there. But yeah, which also reminds me of a question that I forgot to ask. How was NBC Golf Pass? That must have been really cool.
Yeah, that was fun to do a takeover like that and kind of interact with the people who interact with Golf Pass as well, and kind of just show people a day in the life. And it was cool because it was in Hawaii, so I was able to, it was kind of step away from golf and show people what I do on a day that I don't necessarily practice. And
yeah. Now, how do they approach you about that? Is it like a DM, email?
I think it was a text message through a platform of some sort of student athletes.
Mm-hmm. Super, super cool stuff. And, back to the Augusta National Women's Amateur recap. The winner was your teammate, a number one women's amateur golfer, Rose Zhang. She's 9 times a winner at Stanford and a U.S. amateur champion. Um, and you were mentioning before, like it was a nail biter. A battle on the final round between Rose Zhang and Jenny Bay, cool last name, Bay, who's a 5th-year senior at Georgia, and she's number 4 in the women's amateur golf stats. So like obviously this is a huge match. But obviously she goes to Georgia, so not a huge fan. But on top of that, with her win, Rose Zhang receives an invitation into the next 5 planes of the ANWA. The 2023 U.S. Women's Open at Pebble Beach, the 2023 Women's Open, the Chevron Championship, and any USGA, R&A, and PGA of America Amateur Championships for 1 whole year. So, Rose Zhang is, obviously getting those bids, getting those invitations. Love to see it. And that's pretty much all that happened. Obviously, nail biter going into the last 4 rounds there. So that's going to bring on the next question. Are you going, or what's your next like big invitation or open that you're going to be going to?
I'm not exactly sure yet. It's pretty much only college golf from here on out until the end of May. And then kind of my own season starts at the beginning of June, and going to try to qualify for the Open. Don't know what's going to happen there. And there'll be other amateur qualifiers for the USGA events. But I mean, amateur golf during the summer is super fun. There's a lot of match play tournaments, like the North and South and the Western Am. Planning on playing the Canadian Am. So there'll be just a lot of cool stuff, and kind of finish out my year and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And last question I have for you before we let you go is, and this just popped in my mind, is there a team that you're kind of like rivals with? Like, is there a team that you just don't like?
I wouldn't say there's like a team. I mean, of course there's teams that you want to beat, and I think those are the best teams in the country, and
Yeah.
there's nothing personal, obviously, but I mean, Stanford has Cal Berkeley as a rival, but I would say teams in the Pac-12 like USC, UCLA, always want to beat them a little bit more. I'd say Oregon now since last year, and
Yeah,
I'm sure they think the same thing.
yeah, I was about to say, like, is there a little? They got to be a little bit bitter over there at Oregon. I don't know. They might. They
I
might.
mean, they have a really good golf team as well, so
Yeah.
we'll see what this year brings. But
Yeah. No hate to the players. All hate to the logos, of course. But you guys are killing it. And with Stanford women's golf, I feel like Stanford women's golf is just putting women's golf more on the map than it already was. And you're a part of that. And it's so awesome to see. LPGA, those viewers have been going up recently, which I love to see. LPGA is just as equally as good. I love watching it. But the Masters are coming up, as well as the women's Augusta National happen. All awesome stuff. So Sadie, just thank you so much for coming on here. Throughout these weeks, I've always kind of liked Stanford because of Tiger Woods, but then I got to meet the new GOAT of Stanford, Sadie Englebaum. So definitely got a big fan here, especially with Mike too. He just didn't buy a hat, but
Sorry.
so yeah, thank you for coming on. Stay a little bit after we end this, and then we'll catch you guys in the next interview, and we'll move on to the next segment. Everyone, that was Sadie Englemann, a.k.a. Sadie Englebomb. We're so glad that she was on. Love that nickname. But going forward, we're going to be having our Masters outlook and players to watch out for. Michael, what do you have to say at the beginning of this segment?
Yeah, so basically,
wait. Before you start, are you watching this year?
Am I watching this year?
Yeah.
I'll watch like how I always do it. I'll watch the highlights and everything. And I'll have it on my phone with. I'm sorry, I I don't know. I have like stuff on my phone. I watch the highlights, but I'm sorry, I just can't sit through a whole game of golf. No
what
offense to
what I used to do was I would watch, it would be like March Madness to me. Like how kids watch March Madness in school. I was watching the Masters in school. Like I watch both, obviously, March Madness and the Masters, but I watched the Masters at school, and luckily my teachers were chill enough about it. But it happens throughout the day. So
it's a classy game. It's a classy game.
Dude, it's Like I was thinking about this. If we had a countdown of like the biggest sporting events of the year, the Masters would be on that for me.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I
Uh,
just personally, I'm just not big into golf. Like like sports. The main sports I like is obviously like baseball, football, basketball. Like if we're talking about other sports, I like tennis. Like I watch tennis all the time when I'm at the beach, especially. But that's for another day. But anyways, I pulled up the odds for the Masters this
yeah,
year.
yeah,
So what I have here, there's a lot of predictions going on, but the best odds as of an hour ago, according to CBS Golf, Scotty Scheffler is predicted to win with plus 650 odds, and right behind him is McIlroy, pretty sure.
Nick Gilroy.
Yeah, with plus 750, and then John Rahm right behind him at third with 800. Those three are the closest. Those are like the three best that are predicted to win. Because after that, it goes up to plus 1,400 for
Yeah,
odds.
yeah. I have my odds that were as of yesterday. So they've actually gone up a little bit for Scotty Scheffler. He was at 700 yesterday. Now he's saying that he's at 650. And Jordan Spieth is fourth on that list still, right? With 1400.
Who? Jordan Spieth? Yeah,
Yeah.
1,400.
He was 1600 yesterday. And Cameron Smith was the fifth best with plus 2000 yesterday. So
Yeah.
what's he at now? Like 1800?
Smith. Where is he at? Actually, he is. What's the name again? There's
Cameron Smith.
Scott Smith.
Cameron Smith.
Oh, Cameron Smith. He's at 1,400. So he's fourth in the betting odds right now.
Oh wow. So okay, he moved up as well. That's really cool to see.
Him and Jordan Spieth are like at both at 1,400.
Yeah. On the topic of the best betting odds and players to kind of watch out for, those are definitely players to watch out for. But I have my own dark horse players to watch out for because if you're new to golf or anything like that with the Masters, especially, you don't know who's going to win. Like it's very, very hard to predict who's going to win, despite how good somebody's game can be, despite how many US Opens and PGA championships somebody can win the year before or the year during. It's super hard to still predict. And you've seen the odds, like the highest odds are plus 650 for the guy that just won it last year. And he's playing at a very high game this season. But I have three dark horse candidates for you, and these are betting odds as of yesterday, as of Sunday, April 2nd.
I'll update you with them.
Yeah. So, uh, Xander, um, dude, it just like Scheffler or something like that.
Shuffle.
No, 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 no. It just brain farted on me, dude. But anyways, Xander missed the cut here last year, but he finished tied third in 2021, and in 2019 he tied second in his second ever Master start. And he's 29 years old. He's basically, he's able to do it. He's proven stat profiles in tee to green, par four, scoring from 450 plus yards and par five scoring. So Xander Schauffele, or I used to know, or not.
Shuffle.
Xander, crap, dude. I knew before this. I had it in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna get it right on the podcast, and then I just forgot. But the second person, Tommy Fleetwood. Not to mention, Tommy Fleetwood has beautiful hair and beautiful stash and beard. But Fleetwood has made four straight cuts at the Masters with three top 20 finishes. His short game and around the green stats are elite over his last 36 rounds, and he's top 20 in tee to green and putting. That helped him finish tied for third at Valspar and tied 27th at the Players Championship just last month. Combined with his solid driving, his top 10 stats in par five efficiency this year, and he's very efficient in wet projections, wet conditions as well, which makes him a really good golfer. He's 32 years old. I think that he's a dark horse to win it all. He usually does very, very well in the Masters. Top 20 is very, very good. And for my last dark horse, I'm gonna give a guy that I got to see do this 2 years ago. He he earned the weight of my heart, man. He is a great player, and he was a rookie at the time. Will Zalatoris, in his 2021 Masters debut, his rookie debut in the Masters as well, Will Zalatoris nearly became the first player since Fuzzy Zoller in 1979 to win the Masters as a tournament rookie. He was one stroke behind Hideki Matsuyama, who won that year. And he came in second in 2021, second in the PGA Championship in 2022, and tied second in the U.S. Open in 2022. And his current betting odds as of Sunday, whenever I wrote it down, plus 3,300 to win it all.
Well, they went up a lot.
Really?
1,600 now.
Plus 1,600. Wow. Yeah,
so you had Xander, Will Zalatoris, and what was the second one?
Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood.
Who his odds when I saw this were plus 7,000.
So Xander is plus 2,000, Will is plus 16,000, and Tommy Fleetwood is plus 6,000 still.
Okay, so he went down about 1,000. That's interesting. And for my last dark horse player, I will say never count out Bernhard Langer, my favorite golfer. He might be old, but he's still kicking.
Where's Tiger?
I'm about to talk about Tiger. So it's that time of the year again, Mike. You know, sixth through the ninth this year, the Masters will start, obviously. And I'm just going to tell you the past three champions here. Scotty Scheffler last year won it all. 2021, Hideki Matsuyama, amazing golf player. Great year for that Masters. 2020 was Dustin Johnson, and he was actually the tallest to ever win the Masters at 6'4". And then 2019, the GOAT, Tiger Woods. So, you know, as of, you know, kind of players to watch out for, back to that a little bit, which is kind of this whole segment here. Rory McIlroy has been chasing a Masters victory for a while now. He's trying to complete his Grand Slam. And a modern Grand Slam consists of winning the Masters, the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and the Open Championship. So he's like very close to being like the fifth or sixth person to ever do it. He's finished top 10 at the Masters 6 times during the span, including a runner-up last year. And you know, he's hoping to win it all. Oh, and become the 6th player to ever have a Grand Slam in golf. So he could join elite company if he wins it. And I picked him up on my Masters fantasy team because this might be the year, man. It really might be the year. And a name that you know, Jordan Spieth or Spieth, however you pronounce it. I'm going to say Spieth. He's a 3-time major champion and one of the top favorites in this, actually. You know, we've already seen the odds. He struggles mightily. That's what this source says, mightily at Augusta National, and doesn't even crack the top 12. He has finished outside the top 30 in 4 of his last 8 tournaments, including a 31st place at WGC Dell, one of those bigger tournaments. So, you know, he also missed the cut at the Sony Open in Hawaii and Genesis Invitational. He's struggling with consistency right now. So, you know, struggling with all this, barely making it in kind of like the top 12 the past few years. And he's a favorite to win it. What do you think about that, Mike?
I mean, anything can happen in golf. That's why I've learned from the years of looking at it online and stuff. Anything can happen. It's not like basketball where if you're good, you're gonna be the best. One person can like basketball, one person can lead a team to win a championship. But in golf, it's like it depends. Like it can bet on the weather. Weather can be a big factor. The way anything really can change the whole process of the game. So I think anyone has a chance, really.
I think so too. And you know, I mentioned that at the beginning. You never know the conditions, the mental game, you've had a comeback story like Tiger Woods in 2019. You know, come back, win his Masters yet again, which is another person I'm going to talk about real quick. If you didn't know already, he was involved in a single car accident that left him with multiple compound fractures to his right leg, and he missed like last year recovering from it. But or sorry, 2 years ago recovering from it. But He returned in last year's Masters. It was just an inspiring kind of performance for Tiger to see him back out there. It was a huge deal. And to see him back there again is pretty big in itself. I was just watching kind of earlier this morning, them kind of, out there on the greens, out there at the driving range. And it's cool to see him, obviously. Um, and he made the cut last year, appearing like he could barely walk. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that.
I saw that. I did see that.
He was like limping for almost all of the tournament. So it's cool to see. Uh, Woods went on to play in two more major championships, making the cut initially at the U.S. Open, but withdrawing because of pain in his leg, and then missing the cut at the 2020 Open Championship. He returned to competitive action in February at the Genesis Invitational and made the cut against an elevated status field, showcasing or that he was just one of the best still. Like, he's making cuts, he's missing a few, makes enough cuts to make it to the Masters. He's still that guy. I love Tiger on the field. There's a few things off the field that maybe he could fix a little bit on, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the player in his game. He's obviously one of the greatest, which we'll talk about a little bit later too. But kind of to wrap up the Masters and kind of lead into our next segment a little bit, 18 players from the LIV Golf LIV Golf, brand, whatever you want to call it, will be competing. And the most notable ones are ones that have won the Masters before. You have Phil Mickelson competing. He won in 2004, 2006, 2010. Charles Schwartzel won in 2011. Bubba Watson, great guy, won in 2012 and 2014. Sergio Garcia won in 2017. Patrick Reed in 2018, and Dustin Johnson, who won in 2020. All guys from the LIV Golf, expansion that's going to be playing in the Masters. And while we're still on the topic of the Masters, do you see a LIV Golf player placing like top 5 in the Masters? I know that it's possible. Anything's possible in golf, but after those names that I've read, the whole thing with LIV Golf going on, the whole controversy, do you see it happening?
I mean, I can see it. I can see it happening. Out of 18 players, oh, and the multiple have won it before. So, I mean, honestly, I think it's pretty easy to say it's seeable to happen.
I agree with you. And a lot of the headlines will be, who has more to lose in this? Does PGA have more to lose, like if they let a LIV golfer win? Or does a LIV golfer have more to lose if they don't even place top 10?
I think PGA has more to lose because LIV is new. It's like if they fail, not really anyone like oh well. The PGA is the golf league and everything. And if this player from their competition wins, people are like, wow, maybe this LIV has the better players. Let's go watch them. So I think PGA has more to lose.
Yeah, I think that no matter the outcome, we're going to see a lot of headlines come up very, very soon, right after the tournament happens, even during the tournament, if LIV Golf players struggle, or if LIV golfers prosper. We're going to be seeing a lot of who's better, which kind of leads us just into our next segment, the LIV Golf tournament that just happened in Orlando. If you guys don't already know, big Orlando guys here, obviously. But one thing I will say is this has become very, very, I wouldn't say hostile. I feel like that's a little bit too aggressive, but it's become a conversation that's more of like a little brother, big brother rivalry, like a little bit. Like, I think that it's possible that the little brother, the LIV Golf, makes it bigger um, in the future, but it's become a sort of headline everywhere about what's better. And there's golfers like Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy who just don't even talk about it. Like when they're asked in press conferences about LIV Golf, they choose not to speak about it. And the things they do speak about is very, very little. Do you think that that's deserved at all, Mike?
I mean, may that's kind of hard to say because I don't know why they wouldn't talk about it. It's like it's on the rise. It's pretty big. I, like even people who don't really know about golf, like I've seen stuff about it. Like it's like it pops up on ESPN a good amount of times. I don't really understand why they wouldn't talk about it because maybe if they're on contract with something and they can't. But that's the only reason I would think of that. Or maybe they just don't want to hear about it. They don't want to like change. They're probably like they just want to stay set on what they're doing. So
You think it could play a factor of just PGA, you know, they've kind of been around forever. And then you got this new thing pop up that takes some of their best golfers, like Phil Mickelson, for instance.
hmm,
Um, that could play a little bit into it. And then on top of that, Live Golf is trying to like change the game. Like they're allowing, a lot more alcoholic beverages to be sold. They're allowing like more people to be talking, be kind of louder on the golf course. That could be a very big reason, if not the reason, that a lot of big golfers, a lot of traditional golfers aren't really big fans of Live Golf.
yeah, which they're trying. I see what Live's doing. They're trying to get more audience. They want to be different from PGA to give an audience a reason to watch them instead of them, and to come out to their events over PGA events, which is smart by them because I do think some of the changes they make will get the audience attention more to go to them, and they're doing it smart by getting some of PGA's biggest stars like Phil Mickelson, for example. So like you said before, I see it as a little brother, big brother thing, and this one, I can see, I can see it getting pretty big.
Yeah. Which brings up kind of something that happened before this podcast started today. Our great, great friend John decides to kind of like try and argue a little bit that he doesn't see Live Golf going far. Um, and keep in mind for the listeners out there, this is their second year. And, one thing I want to mention too, I saw this the other day, so don't quote me on the numbers, but for a player to get rid of their contract that they have with Live Golf, they'd be paying millions. I can't remember if it was 20 million or 200 million, obviously a big kind of gap right there. But players would be paying some significant amount of money if they were to leave their contract.
What if
So
can they retire?
I don't know. I don't know what all is in the contract. All I know is that the players, if and these contracts that they signed are like 5 years. So you still got 5 years or at least three whenever they sign these sort of things, into effect. But that's something to think about, John. Like, and for the listeners out there, like these people are kind of like buckled down into it at this point. And
It's not
yeah,
with
go ahead.
John. I think he feels like it's like the XFL or AFL.
Yeah,
It's totally different. Like those,
yeah,
I'd say there's a lot more like big names in like NFL and stuff. And obviously they're not going to switch from the biggest league there is. However, when it comes to like golf, there's more freedom. I would like to say
yeah,
when it comes to signing because it's not teams. You're signing with leagues. So big players. Think of it. It's kind of like soccer, like with different countries, leagues.
yeah.
That's how he should have thought of it. Over, I don't know how he was thinking. That's just how I think he thinks of it. Because I feel like it's a lot easier to get a new league going.
Yeah, because when you're thinking of the XFL and the AAF and USFL, you're thinking of players that aren't making as much as NFL players. But Live Golf is literally like the second biggest thing now because there's really only two. And they're paying them millions, like hundreds of millions. It's golf. It's the like huge, payments. These golfers make huge paydays. So it's way different. Like you're thinking of FCFL where it's like, oh, fan controlled football league. They got Johnny Manziel. Okay. Johnny
Or the
Manziel.
Canadian Football League, like
Yeah, it's like, okay, he played like kind of back in the day. He's out of his prime, obviously. He couldn't make it at the biggest professional level. But then in Live Golf, you got guys who went beyond making it in the professional level and they just switch. It's like I was explaining to him, it's not going to go downhill because people like the players that are joining. Like they like Dustin Johnson. They like Brooks Koepka. They like Phil Mickelson. Obviously, I'm a big Phil Mickelson guy, especially since we both swing lefty, and that's what's going to keep the viewers in. LIV Golf was very smart with that. They offered them a huge payday to come on. Now, the one thing I agree with John is they need to figure out their TV deal situation. You're on CW, which CW is known for some crappy superhero shows. So I don't really know what you're doing on that thing. But at the same time, it's new. That's probably they're paying their players so much. That's probably the only deal that they could get. It's not like XFL where you're playing these guys like maybe 100K. I don't know what the highest contract is in the XFL, but I'm sure it's not that
I think
big.
it's $1 million, like $1 million or something like that.
Okay, well, still, even with it being $1 million, there's guys in LIV Golf Tour that are going to be like 100 mil. So
yeah, and football, you pay a lot more players.
exactly. Now, kind of the last thing I want to talk about for this LIV Golf situation before we jump into what happened in Orlando. I think that LIV Golf is being smart and can still consistently be smart if they continue to take the best amateur golfers. If they
That
can,
is super smart.
yeah, because there's a few amateur golfers who I'll talk about coming up that was really smart of them to get. And if they keep that up and let's say they sign the number one amateur golfer like next year, that's going to be huge for the game. And it's going to be a huge upset for PGA. But let's just talk about what happened in Orlando. Sad that I couldn't make it, but the four-time major champion held on for his second win. I'm talking about Brooks Koepka here, leaving the PGA Tour at LIV Golf Orlando. This happened on Sunday. He shot 3 under 68 to finish at 15 under at Orange County Nationals Crooked Cat, which is like the name of the golf place. Koepka, tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong in the comments, but Koepka, I'm just going to call him Koepka for the hell of it, is coming among a total of 18. He's among the 18 LIV players who are going to be teeing up at the Masters. And on top of that, the LIV Golf also has a lot of team play. So like Phil Mickelson's on a team of 4, and like all the players are kind of on teams of 4. They have their own logos and everything like that. And Team Torque GC won the team portion of the event. It consisted of David Puig, Sebastian Munoz, Joaquin Neiman, and Mito Pereira. Sorry, my fault. And what you got to know about these guys is Joaquin Neiman. He's a Chilean star. He was the number 1 rated amateur in the world in 2017 and 2018. On top of that, David Puig, one of the youngest players on the LIV Golf roster. He's a rising star. He joined LIV Golf in 2022 as an amateur, as I mentioned before. Very smart that they're doing. Sebastian Munoz, Colombian's top-ranked golfer. He made his LIV debut this season. He's turned pro in 2015. Munoz has 4 professional wins, including 3 in his native country. He also represented Colombia on multiple occasions, including the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, which he was a part of a 7-man playoff for the bronze medal. So obviously LIV Golf is getting good guys. And then lastly, Mike Pereira. Pereira is one of the several exciting new stars on the LIV Golf roster. And he's been friends with his Torque teammate and the captain of the team, Joaquin Neiman, since they were kids. So that's a cool little storyline there. He's a 10-time winner as a pro. Pereira was the 54th hole leader at the 2022 PGA Championship, and he eventually finished 3rd that game or that round. And he also competed in the 2021 Olympics for Team Chile. So
they have some good names.
Yeah, they do. And, that's not even all of it. That's just one of the teams. I didn't even look at who came in second and stuff like that. But anyways, do you have anything else you want to say about the LIV Golf in Orlando?
That's everything.
Yeah, perfect. So our next segment is going to be Mount Rushmore, the greatest golfers to ever live. Michael, start us off.
So my greatest golfers, do a little research on this. So at my first one, I'm gonna say Phil Mickelson. I'm mainly putting on here because he's one of the only golfers I've really known growing up. and he has a lot of accomplishments. Personally, maybe he might not be top four in like all time, but personally, I would say he's up there. He's a winner of 6 major championships, 3 Masters, 1 British Open, 2 PGA championships. He's one of only 8 players with as many as 3 master wins. Only he's one of only 15 men who hold at least 3 legs of the career Grand Slam. He was the runner-up at the U.S. Open in the record 6 times, and he's 24 top 3 finishes, 39 top 10 finishes at major championships. And he's a winner of 45 PGA tournament events. And he's tied 8th of all time on that one. And for my next one, I have, let me scroll down to it. I have Jack Nicklaus. Nicklaus, he is a winner of 73 PGA tournament events, including a record of 18 major championships. He's a winner of 6 Masters. He's finished in the top 5 in majors and a record of 56 times in the top 10. And he posted the lowest scoring average on tour 8 times, won the PGA tournament money title 8 times, and won at least 2 PGA Tour events in 17 consecutive seasons. So, there are 2 top guys right there. Not gonna lie. And then my next one is Arnold Palmer. Arnold Palmer, his file consists of 60 PGA Tour wins, 7 major championships, 4-time PGA Tour money champ, first PGA Tour millionaire, and 15 consecutive years with at least 1 victory. And my last one,
Wait,
it's obvious.
On those stats, does it say that he made a really good drink too?
No, it doesn't. But I was also thinking of that.
Yeah.
And then obviously my last one is Tiger Woods. His file consists of 82 PGA Tour wins, tied for the most of all time with Sam Snead. He's my honorable mention, by the way, Sam Snead. He would have put Phil Mickelson over there, but I just put him on top. But 82 PGA Tour wins, 15 major championships, second all-time tied with behind Jack Nicklaus. Only player to ever win 4 consecutive majors, lowest scoring average in PGA Tour history, and scoring average of 67.79 in 2000, the lowest single season average in tour history. And finally, PGA Tour Player of the Year at a record of 10 times.
That's a great list, Mike. And each of those golfers, like, tremendous. And what I will say, Phil Mickelson did not make my list. Obviously, one of my favorite golfers of all time. He does have some crazy eyes. I will give him that. But I love that guy. I love his game. I love that he's a lefty. That's what sold me whenever I was getting into golf. And the fact that he's won the Masters 3 times is a huge accomplishment. He's not on my list, though, because the way I did my list was I basically found, we have 2 of the same golfers, Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, but the other 2 are guys that are in the top 5 players that have ever done a Grand Slam. And I think that is probably the hardest achievement that any golfer can make. So the first one is going to be oh, crap. Okay, hold on. Sorry, my notes got a little mixed up here. But first one, right off the bat, Tiger Woods, like you said. And this is interesting. Tiger Woods has enough of all 4 majors for 3 career Grand Slams. 3 of them, bro. Like, he's basically Tom Brady, like, with 2 Hall of Fame stats right there, cut in half for his years. And this is what you got to know, too. 683 is the number of weeks Tiger Woods was spent at the number 1 in the official world golf ranking. The most all-time behind him was Greg Norman with 331 weeks. So Tiger doubled that. And it also took Tiger just 291 days from his first round as a professional to rise to number 1 in the official world golf ranking, the quickest ascension to the top spot in OWGR history. And you obviously listed all of his other great accomplishments and accolades. Now, number two, most obvious one, Jack Nicklaus, the Gold Bear. um, sorry, he has the all-time record haul of 18 majors. Only ever won two of golf's most prestigious tournaments in a calendar year. However, he won a career Grand Slam 3 times, and he achieved the first of those with his win in the 1966 Open. And by the time he retired, Jack Nicklaus fell just one more Open win short of a fourth career Grand Slam. So,
Dang.
obviously, super, super big. And then these next two players I did not know, but I'm glad that I got to research them. Ben Hogan. In 1953, Ben Hogan won the Masters, U.S. Open, and the Open, but it was impossible for him to win all four as the dates of the latter tournament overlapped with the PGA Championship. But he did win the tournament back in 1946, giving him a career Grand Slam. Hogan remains the only player to have won the Masters, U.S. Open, and Open Championship in the same year.
Wow.
Insane. And then the last one on my Mount Rushmore, Bobby Jones. He basically made the Grand Slam a thing. The one player to achieve the Grand Slam, and he did so across all the times pre-master tournaments in 1930. And in fact, Jones' achievement was so remarkable that he won all four majors in one calendar year as well. And the term Grand Slam didn't exist for it because no one thought it would be possible. And in total, Jones won 13 majors in a 7-year period between 1923 and 1930. So he was basically kind of like the Dan Marino, I'd say, of the golf world, setting that, that example for all the rest of the GOATs to follow. And that's why he's on my list. So,
Yeah, that was a good list.
Yeah, of course. Is that all you got for the Mount Rushmore, man?
Yep.
Yeah, before I end it, honorable mention Bernhard Langer. Love that guy. All right. Next segment is going to be our last segment before our post game, of course. It's going to be draft day, all things golf. And in parentheses here, I said it can literally be anything golf, from Wii Sports Golf to just saying the Masters. You can do anything. And it'll be 7 picks between me and Michael. So, Michael, take it away.
The first pick goes to me. So with my first pick, I'm going with personally my favorite golf, mini golf.
I had that on my list, man. All right. I'll take the next best thing right off the bat, Top Golf.
Dang, I had that on my list as well.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I definitely have things that you're not gonna have though, so it's fine.
Oh, you if you didn't, that'd be really sad. Like my list.
Wait for my last pick here, man.
All right, so you put Top Golf, and then my next pick, give me Wii Golf.
Dang, super solid. Taking from the examples, that's fine.
Don't care.
Okay, next one, I'm gonna have just the golf section at Dick's Sporting Goods. It's incredible. Like, I feel like, even before I started kind of casually, very, very casually playing golf, I just found myself over there. And, they got a little putting green section too. You can just have fun, especially while you're waiting on your sister to get some clothes or whatever. You can just do your own thing.
All right, my next pick, I am going to go with golf carts.
Ooh, very, very good. Could have even had the golf, could have even had never mind. I'm not gonna say that until the end. That might give you an idea. Still got a little bit of a draft to go here, Nick. Keep up with it. All right, my next one is gonna be golf arcade games. And in parentheses, I had Gators Dockside, if you remember going as a kid. It has a little sphere and you flick it.
Yeah.
It's like the bowling games.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. With my next one, you took Top Golf. I don't know if you're gonna let this one. Just the driving range.
Yeah, I had it on my list. Very good.
Can you give that one to me?
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's two different things. We could have, golf, John getting mad at golf, but I'm not gonna have that on.
You could have John getting his club stuck in a 10, 15-foot high tree, and then coming out there saying, "Honestly, I've never seen this before."
Yeah, John says, "Have you ever seen this before?" He's like, "In my 15 years working here, I've never seen anything."
The dude looks up, he's like, I can see in his face, like, how the hell did you do this? You know something about John at driving ranges. He can't hold on to his club. They go flying every once in a while. But like how? 15 like it's like 15-foot high tree, like up there in the tree.
You know who else did that? Aiden, bro. Remember on my birthday party at Top Golf? Aiden's flung that,
Oh yeah.
hit the roof super loud. Oh man. Anyways, I'm up next. Give me just Tiger Woods.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna have that on my list.
How many picks are left?
So we each have 4 picks right now.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
Give me the hole in one.
Yeah, yeah. Get an ace, an albatross, as they call it. Very, very cool moment, especially in mini golf.
Exactly.
Mini golf's more of an accomplishment than on the actual course. No, I'm just joking. But with my next one, give me the grumpy old golf guys at the pro shops.
Okay, let me write this down. Grumpy old golf guys at the what?
Pro shops.
At pro.
Like, whenever you go to like check in for your tea time, like every experience
Yeah.
I've had, they're just mad for what?
All right, for my next pick, give me golf simulators.
Yeah, I had that one on my list. I'll kind of stay with the virtual aspect. Give me kind of an underrated game. I never played it, but it looks cool. Mario Golf.
Ah, I played that a couple of times. It's all right. It's not bad. I'll give it.
If Mario Super Sluggers was on here though, if we were doing baseball,
Dude, that's a good game.
that was one of my favorite games growing up.
That's a top baseball game, dude.
It is.
Baseball
No,
has a lot of good games. Like they have that Super Sluggers, Wii Baseball, MVP, the show you can add there, but also the backyard baseball is also good ones. But anyways, I'm not talking baseball. With my last pick, give me
oh, it's our last pick already.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. This is my last. Give me the GOAT, Tom Brady.
What?
When he plays golf on his TV specials.
Oh, Tom Brady, like when they do the like duos.
Yeah.
So golfer Tom Brady.
Yeah, golfer Tom Brady.
All right. We'll stick with the celebrities for my last one. You may have seen me post this clip on my story, repost on TikTok. DJ Khaled golfing. Life is Roblox.
All right, let me go over the teams. Team Mike consists of mini golf, Wii golf, golf carts, the driving range, the hole in one, golf simulators, and golfer Tom Brady. Team Nick consists of Top Golf, golf section at Dick's, golf arcade games, Tiger Woods, grumpy old golf guys at at pro shops, Mario Golf, and DJ Khaled the golfer.
That's gonna wrap it up for our draft day. Let's just head into the post game here. Super fun episode to do. I love like not only talking golf because I wish I watched more of it. I wish that I was able to talk even more about it than the little knowledge I already know. But it was great having Sadie on here. That was awesome. Having a national champion in anything, but yet alone one of the hardest sports out there, most strategic sports out there as well. Golf, having her on, getting that input was crazy. We have great guests planned for you guys. So if you made it this far, you're a true fan. You're obviously going to know that we're going to give you the best that we can give. And for my last kind of closing off thing, if you're watching from the YouTube, yeah, I did wear a Stanford hat. Yeah, I'm going to wear stuff for most of the players. Now, the reason that I have the Stanford hat is because no, I knew that she was coming on And on top of that, I've been a big Tiger Woods guy since I've gotten into golf, and I just knew that Stanford golf is great in women's and men's, and Tiger Woods, the GOAT, came from there. So if I'm gonna have a Pac-12 team, it's gonna be one of the best. It's the best at golf. So I also got a new golf hat out of it, which I really like. But no, I will not be wearing, merch for every single team. If we have a Gators player on, I'll be wearing Tennessee merch. If we have a USF player, I'll be wearing some UCF merch. And on top of that, if we have a person from like Syracuse or something, I'm not gonna wear Syracuse. I don't like Syracuse at all. There's always a reason that I wear certain things, but
I feel like that was a shot at someone.
no, 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 no. That's just in general, just for anybody that listens, anybody that may have picked that
Wondering.
up. Yeah, anybody that watches kind of picks up the fact that with Naheem McLeod, I wore the FSU polo that I got at Plato's for $9. Shout out Plato's Closet. Great, great store and very comfortable polo, I might add. So that's always fun. But yeah, Mike, anything else you want to say?
Or someone to say, make sure you use our code ATC for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek right there. Also, if you're feeling a little tired, want to go to the gym, maybe like late night gaming, you can use our code against the call in all caps for W right there at www.w.gg for 20% off your next purchase. No,
It's
10%.
10%. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, of course. And if you guys aren't already, make sure you're clicking the links in the description to join our socials. We, post stuff every now and then. We've always given out reminders on all that. We do have a new Twitter, by the way, and we got a great handle. It's just at against the call now. So make sure you're following that. We've at one point we had 40 followers on there, and then Twitter just Elon Musk decides to silence us for no reason. And now we're back to 9 followers. So make sure you're going over there, showing that some love. And on top of that, if you're on the YouTube and you were able to see my beautiful Stanford hat, you would also be able to catch Michael wearing an awesome Against the Call t-shirt. Make sure that you guys are DMing us, letting us know if you want a shirt. We'll give you the prices there. And there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. As summer approaches, me and Michael are going to give this thing our all every single day. So we cannot wait for that. But all in all, follow OuttaPocket Sports, of course, our brand, and make sure you guys are just liking our stuff. We need the support. We love the support. We love having a fan base. So make sure you guys are, becoming big ATC fans. So that's going to do it for today's golf edition. And we'll catch you guys later.